Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and as you guys can see from the two training clips I just showed you guys, and of course you guys see the dates are put up on Instagram if you follow my Instagram, I deadlift at a pretty high frequency. And I deadlift fairly heavy at a pretty high frequency by most standards, obviously not world level power lifter standards, but by average gym going standards, I deadlift really fucking heavy 3 times a week. So let's talk about how to do that, how do you get away with it, and the benefits of it. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing. Let's do a little bit of crafting, and let's talk about this for a bit. All right, guys, so high frequency deadlifting. Why would you want to do it? Basically, there is nothing that's going to make you thicker overall through your whole body than deadlifting heavy and being able to do so frequently. Now, as I talk about a lot, people who aren't on hefty amounts of drugs, higher frequency training will always produce better muscle protein synthesis. You're going to grow faster. The deadlift works over 50% of the muscles in the body very effectively. And due to the certain muscles that it works, there is probably no exercise that's going to make you thicker, like your thickness front to back, of your legs, your torso, everything else. It just thickens you up, and again, it makes you very powerful, very strong. Again, raw deadlifting like that with no belt, no straps. Trust me, you don't want someone who can deadlift 600 plus pounds raw to grab a hold of you and twist and pull. You don't want that to happen. I don't care how tough you are. It may not go well. It will make you powerful. It gives you a lot of real world strength. And deadlifting at a high frequency is a fantastic way to do that because of the total muscle protein synthesis uptime. Now, the disadvantage is it is insanely easy to overtrain this way. Because the deadlift, like I said, it is a power movement. It's a full body strength movement that works tremendous amounts of muscles through the whole body. Also, because you pull from a dead stop, it requires an enormous load on your nervous system. Therefore, it's very, very easy to overly fatigue your peripheral nervous system with the deadlift. So, a couple tips that I recommend there. Number one, you'll notice I only do like one real heavy set. I ramp up a little bit. I do one heavy work set, and that's it. And you notice I leave one in the tank. Both of those there were sets of 6 reps, right? You're right in that maximum, that benefit of what you call like the size strength, what I would call like the ideal zone, where it's the balance between the two, because you're not working on explosive power because you're going over 5 reps. Usually anything over 3 reps doesn't give you maximum power. You're getting more into just like regular strength. And again, that 5 to 8 rep range is really, really good for balancing overall size with overall strength while giving you a good middle ground there, because it actually extends all the way over to, up to your 15 and 20 rep strength. It can actually help a little bit with your like strength stamina, not as much as really high reps, but it gives you really good carryover to them, and it gives very good carryover down to your 1 rep max. And it's just a good range. Even with one set in that range, you can build really good size without having to do a lot of volume. And that's the key there with the deadlift, is that you can't get away with a lot of volume without burning something out. So you're really trying to minimize your volume while maximizing your results. The best way to do that, pick one good set in that 5 to 8 rep range. That's kind of your sweet spot there. If you're going to pull at a high frequency and you're not doing just singles for power like a Bulgarian style training. The other thing is, you'll notice I do not go to failure. I don't even do grinders. I leave at least 1 rep in the tank. So you see me do 6 reps there. If you look at it, I could probably squeeze out a 7th. Maybe if I took a couple seconds later, I could grind out a really sloppy, shitty 8th rep. All right, you don't want to do that, because the second you start hitting grinders or you miss a lift on the deadlift, it can take your peripheral nervous system up to a week to recover from that. And if that happens, you can't come in and deadlift heavy again. All right, you just can't do it. So leaving a rep in the tank and making sure that all of your reps are fast and clean, that you're getting to fatigue. You're reaching a point of fatigue, because I'm obviously fatigued by that 6 rep, but they're still smooth, they're still clean, they're not slowing down a lot. It's those really slow grinders that really mess you up. That's what's going to push you into the overtraining state. So you're inducing just enough fatigue to stimulate growth, to stimulate adaptation, stimulate strength gains, but not to really massively impair your recovery. So in 2 to 3 days later, you could come back and pull again. Now, the other thing I'm going to note there, when you start pulling at a high frequency, like I do around 3 times a week, again, moderately heavy weight, you also need to know when to back down. Meaning, when I come in and I start warming up, I can tell based upon the bar speed and how heavy it feels if I'm going to be able to pull my normal weight successfully. And if I know that I'm only going to be able to pull a couple reps with my normal 5 or 6 rep set, because the bar just feels slow and heavy with 315 or 405, that's when you back off. You'll know because you just feel stiff, you feel tight, the weight feels really heavy and slow. When that happens, I recommend cutting back your weight about 20%. So, if you normally pull 500 for reps, cut back to about 400 when you get to that set and do your normal work set with 100 pounds less. If you normally pull 400 pounds for, 5 to 8 reps, same thing, cut down to about 315. When you hit that 315 in your warm-up, go ahead and do it for 5 to 8 reps. Just focus on good form, maintaining that good form, and take it from there. There's no need to push things too far there. There's just no need for it. So what you're doing with that, you're basically doing deloads. When you do that, you're taking basically a deload day because you're reducing the weight about 20% and you're doing your normal set, but you're still getting some benefits out of it. You're still training the motor pattern. You're still getting a little muscle protein synthesis, but you're not impeding your recovery, because when you come in and the weight feels too heavy, you know that you've pushed yourself a little too hard, that you're on the verge of overreaching too much. And by just doing a lighter set, again, you re-stimulate a little muscle growth. You reinforce that last heavy session you did 2 to 3 days ago. You're just reinforcing it. You're going to increase the muscle protein synthesis, because you have to remember, with the law of accommodations, you can get away with using the exact same workload 3 times before you stop adapting to it, right? 3 times is usually your baseline. So if you've done it a couple times before, then you come in and just do a lighter variation, you'll sometimes reinforce that last time that you train. You'll reinforce, spark a little bit of muscle protein synthesis so that you get just a little bit of growth based upon the previous stimulation. So little deloads like that when you're fatigued will still actually stimulate some growth, and they're training the motor pattern so that you keep the neuromuscular efficiency. So it's okay when you feel tired and everything else. You know what? If you want to take 100 pounds off, take 100 pounds off and just do that for your normal set. It's okay. It still actually has benefits, but it's not going to keep pushing you towards overtraining. Because again, anyone who says overtraining isn't real doesn't deadlift heavy 3 or 4 days a week. Those motherfuckers need to go try to do that, then come back and tell you how overtraining isn't real. Those guys are fucking idiots. They don't actually train hard. That's why they think overtraining is not real. They think doing 15 sets of curls is like training hard. So they'll put some heavy ass weight on a bar and deadlift it every time they come to the gym. And then come back and tell you that. Fuck those guys. So it's because they don't actually train. They don't know how to train hard. They're scared of hard work. Deadlifting heavy 3 times a week can turn into hard work real quick, even when it's little bursts of it. But you know what? It's very rewarding. That's the thing that I love about deadlifting like that. When you come in and deadlift 2 or 3 times every week, you walk out of that gym realizing that you are getting stronger. You feel strong. You feel better. And I don't know. To me, when I'm training that way, it just feels overall that I just feel stronger overall. And I feel, I don't know, in a way to describe it, almost indestructible is the best way to describe it. It gives you a certain confidence about your strength level that's just nice to have, because you know that you can lift heavy weight pretty frequently on demand. Meaning, you're not after some people who train hard, then they recover, they know they're weak for a few days. When you're pulling at that frequency that any day of the week, if you have to, you've got strength on tap. And particularly when you leave a rep in the tank when you deadlift, you know that the next day, if something happened in an emergency and you had to exert a massive amount of strength, you could do it on demand. And that's the beauty of training like that, because you're used to it. You're used to exerting yourself fairly hard frequently, and you know that you can do it anytime you ever need to if push comes to shove. And it's just a nice feeling. The other thing you need to be aware of, deloading, true deloading. When you're training in that way, again, it's very easy to overreach. It's very easy to overtrain. And you don't realize you're doing it sometimes. And so the thing you need to pay attention to the most, like I always say, joint pain. If you have joints that start aching or hurting, your wrists start hurting for pulling heavy. Your shoulder starts hurting. Your lower back starts hurting. Your knees hurt. Some joint in your body is acting up from the frequent pulling. You don't wait 2 weeks. You don't come in and deadlift heavy 3 or 4 more times and then do something about it. You immediately respond by deloading. It's time to take a deload every time that happens. That's one of the things you can't play with. A lot of guys talk about, deloads are for pussies or whatever. Those are guys who train like pussies. They just do a bunch of volume and they don't actually lift anything heavy. If they had ever lifted anything heavy, they wouldn't be saying that. When you're deadlifting at a high frequency, you don't have that kind of luxury. All right, you don't have the luxury to say stuff like that. You need to deload. And if something starts hurting, any of your connective tissue gets inflamed, any of your joints start to hurt that you know are involved in that deadlift, you need to deload. Next time you come in, reduce the weight 50%, or reduce it 40%. Meaning, if you're pulling 500, come pull 300. If you're pulling 400, pull 200. It's fine, or 225. It's okay. Come and do that for 3 or 4 or 5 reps and walk out. You're done. If the joints are still hurting, do it again. Do it up to a week. Do a 1-week deload if you need to. You know what? It's fine. You've been pulling so heavy so frequently, if you've been doing this for a little while, that you're not going to lose any strength from that deload. If anything, you're going to recover. Your connective tissue or joints that are getting a little inflamed are going to appreciate it. They're going to recover. They're going to bounce back. They're going to come back stronger. And you know what? 2 weeks from now, you're probably going to be stronger than you were before. It's not a bad thing. It's a smart way to train. It's the intelligent way to train. It's how you don't get injured, and it's how you can get away with training in ways that a lot of people would be scared to do. Again, deadlifting heavy 3 times a week, a lot of people don't want to do that. But you know what? Deloads allow you to do things like that. Without really getting hurt, without the high risk of injury, without the risk of overtraining. Use them. Be smart about them. And that's the first sign that you need a deload, is when you start feeling connective tissue pain of any type. That's a dead giveaway. It's time to deload. Don't play around with it. Don't be like these jackasses who get hurt. That's your body's cue of telling you, okay, it's time to back off for a few days or a week. You've worked hard. You pushed it to your limits. Now back off, let your body heal, let your body adapt, and reap the rewards of your hard work. That's the way to look at it. And that really is the way that you need to look at a deload. When you know that you push your body to the point that you have signs that you need a deload from deadlifting like that, that's a good thing. That's your body's way of saying, hey, you've busted your ass, you've worked hard, it's time to back down. And if you do, I'm going to reward you by making you bigger and stronger. That's what your body's telling you. Look at it that way. Look at it as a gift. It's time to back down and enjoy that time off, that time of lifting lighter weight, letting your body recover. You're going to feel better afterwards. You're going to be stronger afterwards. It's a good thing. People need to stop looking at things like that as a bad thing. Oh, I don't want to have to lift that light weight. Why not? Are you in the gym because you want to lift heavy weight all the time? Or are you in the gym because you want to get bigger and stronger? Well, you just pushed yourself to the point to where your body's ready to get bigger and stronger, but you pushed it too far. You've put in the work already. Now, earn your rewards from it. Earn a little bit of lighter weight in the gym, and then come back and reap those rewards. You've earned it at that point. Accept your reward and don't bitch about it. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.